What if I told you that Allah is already speaking to your heart, showing you that your life is about to change in profound and unexpected ways? That what you've been waiting for, the meeting, the home, the new beginning, is already written for you. Today, I'm going to reveal the subtle signs you may have missed and paint a picture of the person who will walk beside you, as well as the new place where your soul will find serenity. Stay with me, for this message could transform your outlook on your future, your faith, and your destiny. Imagine yourself alone, in the silence of your room. Not just an external silence, but that inner silence, where your mind finally stops racing, where your thoughts no longer clash, and where your heart begins to murmur. Perhaps you've ignored this murmur until now, or you've mistaken it for the wind, for fatigue, for chance. But today, it's there, more intense, clearer. It courses through your veins, seeps into every beat, and you feel that familiar thrill. Something is about to change. Perhaps you've long believed that your life was following a path you had chosen, that your choices, your efforts, your sacrifices would lead you exactly where you wanted to be. And yet, a greater, more subtle sensation reminds you that what you believe to be your plan is only a leaf in the great manuscript that Allah has traced for you. There is a divine breath in the air, an invisible direction, an orchestration that your human eyes cannot yet grasp. Your heart begins to sense it. A change is brewing, not just any change. A profound transformation that affects not only your environment but your soul. A union, a home, a new place. As if Allah were gently placing His hand on your shoulder to say, "Move forward, your time is approaching." And even if your mind doubts, even if your human plans want to control every detail, your soul knows. It knows that vibration, that unique frequency that only destiny can grant. Look at your past. Remember the trials you've gone through, the nights you felt lost, when you prayed without receiving a clear answer. Those moments weren't mistakes, nor losses. They were preparations. Every tear, every silence, every wait, every rejection you received has polished your heart to welcome what you cannot yet imagine. Every detour, every closed door, every unlikely path has been a lesson in refining your perception of what is true and what is right. Allah never leaves the souls of His servants unprepared. Even when you thought you were failing, even when you thought your destiny had deviated, it was He who was sculpting the version of you capable of receiving what He intended. And now, feel this present moment. Feel the anticipation, but also the strange peace that accompanies it. Your future partner is not yet before you, and yet you already feel their essence, their qualities, their inner light, their sincere heart. All of this begins to vibrate in your own heart. You don't yet see their face or even the place where your paths will cross, but your soul knows. And this silent knowledge is stronger than any fear or doubt. It is the signature of divine guidance, the sign that what you have been waiting for so long is being prepared in the invisible world, orchestrated by the one who sees what you cannot. Your mind might try to rationalize, measure time, predict distance, judge compatibility. But let all that go for a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel the breath entering and leaving your body. Feel it as a subtle reminder that destiny is never left to chance. Even if you feel alone, even if you believe yourself incapable of recognizing the direction, even if the fear of the unknown grips you, it is exactly this feeling that prepares you. It is this mixture of anxiety and hope that opens the door to that which is greater than yourself. Perhaps you feel an impatience in your heart. You want to see, touch, understand. But the wisdom of life lies in waiting. Each moment of patience, each breath accepted in gratitude, brings your heart closer to the reality of what is already decided. Faith is not just believing what you see. It is feeling what you don't yet see. It is the ability to perceive the divine whisper, the gentle tremor, the vibration that says, "Prepare yourself. What you seek is coming, but not yet as you imagine." And as you stand here in the silence of this room, listening to the rhythm of your heart, let a question cross your mind. What if everything you've been through wasn't just for you, but to welcome this new chapter? What if this union, this move, this spiritual transformation were already underway, and your role was simply to remain attentive, to feel, to prepare your heart to recognize what is pure and destined? Because in that whisper, in that tremor, in that feeling you cannot ignore, there is a silent promise. A promise that what you've been waiting for, what you've sought in the secrecy of your prayers, is being prepared in the shadows. And even if you don't see the outlines yet, even if you don't know how it will manifest, your soul does. It knows this vibration. And soon, everything will begin to align in ways you never thought possible. Imagine a scene. You open the door to what will become your new home. You don't know why you feel this thrill, this strange mixture of excitement and fear. The air itself seems different here, lighter, almost charged with a subtle energy that your senses begin to perceive without being able to name it. The scent of renewal floats around you, as if the place itself knows you're ready for this turning point, for this chapter you hadn't yet dared to imagine. You've barely crossed the threshold when your gaze meets his. Not a complete face yet, but just enough for your heart to recognize something it's been searching for all along. There's a silent certainty in that moment, a truth your soul perceives before your mind has time to analyze it. And you know that this encounter is no accident. Everything in your life, every detour, every night of anguish, every tear shed in solitude, has been a preparation for this precise moment. This person before you doesn't necessarily correspond to the perfect image you had constructed in your mind. She doesn't have all the qualities your ego would have wanted, nor all the answers you thought you were looking for. But she embodies something much rarer, much deeper, a spiritual harmony you had never imagined. Her gestures resonate with your soul, like a forgotten melody you thought you had lost. Her words find an echo in your faith, in those silent convictions you have carried for years, sometimes without daring to express them. Each smile exchanged is an invisible language, a silent pact that destiny has already signed for the two of you. Your heart races, and at the same time, it calms. Because in that gaze, in that presence, there is a peace you had never known. A feeling that, despite all this chaos, despite all these nights when you felt alone and misunderstood, you are finally exactly where you were meant to be. As if Allah had taken care of every moment of your past to bring you to this perfect intersection where two lonely paths meet to walk together towards something greater. You observe the details around you. The sun streams through the windows, drawing luminous patterns on the floor. And you realize that every ray is a blessing. Every object, every empty space, every silence in this house seems orchestrated to welcome not only your body, but your entire soul. You feel that you are about to put down roots, not only in a physical place, but in a spiritual dimension that elevates you. This move, which previously seemed intimidating or uncertain, now becomes a living metaphor for what your heart was ready to receive: renewal, union, and guidance. And then, you notice subtle details about this person that touch you deeply. The patience in their gaze, the gentleness in their voice, the sincerity in their simple gestures. You then understand that perfection is never in what the eyes see, but in what the soul recognizes. That true harmony is not measured by superficial standards, but by the way two hearts align in the light of faith, in mutual respect, and in the silence of sincere intentions. Every painful memory you carry, every mistake you've made, every dream you thought you'd abandoned, everything takes on meaning. Everything converges toward this moment. And in this convergence, you feel a deep, almost unreal gratitude for everything you've been through. Because you realize that nothing was lost, nothing was useless, and that everything was a divine preparation to welcome what you were waiting for without even knowing it. A certainty fills you. This isn't just a move. It's not just an encounter. It's a transformation. Your world is rearranging itself. And even the simplest details of this house, the most insignificant movements of this person, resonate like signs, like silent answers to the prayers you've prayed in the depths of your heart. And as you stand here, on the edge of this new life, your soul feels a thrill of anticipation. Because this is only the beginning. What you see before you is the surface of a larger miracle, a series of blessings and guidance that you will begin to discover as the days, weeks, and months pass. Each moment ahead will be a lesson, a reminder, a silent confirmation that nothing happens by chance and that everything you've been through has prepared you for this moment.
Listen, I know you're afraid. Not that fleeting fear that disappears in an instant, but the fear that settles in your veins, that squeezes your heart, that makes you hesitate to move forward. Fear of leaving what you know. Fear of leaving behind habits, places, relationships, even routines that seemed familiar and reassuring. Fear of committing to something that could turn your life upside down. Fear of the unknown. Fear of the invisible that you feel but cannot yet touch. But take a second to breathe. Close your eyes and listen to that shiver that runs through your body. Feel it as a silent signal. This fear is not there to paralyze you. It is there to awaken you. It is a sign. A sign that something greater than yourself is preparing. That a subtle, divine force is directing your steps. Allah is guiding your soul, gently, silently, towards a change that will uplift your heart and transform your existence. This fear is a light in disguise, a reminder that what you are about to receive is precious, and that it requires total openness from you, a trust that only a sincere heart can offer. Imagine this partner who will appear in your life. Feel them even before you see them. They are a light, not just to accompany you, but to illuminate your inner path. A soul chosen to walk beside you, to share your prayers, to understand your silences, and respond to your invisible whispers. This person will not come to fill your superficial gaps, but to complete your humanity, to resonate with your faith, to help you become a more complete, more luminous version of yourself, closer to what your soul aspires to be. And even if your mind doubts, even if your ego screams and tries to control everything, your heart knows. It knows it's time. He knows that all those years of solitude, all those nights of questioning, all those trials and errors past had a precise purpose: to prepare your heart to recognize what reason alone cannot yet comprehend. Every tear you shed, every sense of injustice or loss, every moment you felt misunderstood, ignored, or abandoned has sharpened your soul. Every inner struggle has refined your spiritual perception, your discernment, your ability to recognize what is pure, what is sincere, what is truly meant for you. Remember those nights when you prayed in secret, your eyes filled with tears, asking for direction,
clarity, a sign. Perhaps you believed your prayers were unheard. Perhaps you doubted, telling yourself that destiny had forgotten you. But all this time, Allah was working in the invisible world, orchestrating every detail, every encounter, every necessary detour to bring you exactly where you needed to be. And now, this preparation begins to manifest in reality. You are about to feel the meeting of your soul, of this light chosen for you, and the physical manifestation of what you have long awaited. Listen again. You are not alone in your fears. Every believer feels these thrills before a great transformation, before a step that changes the trajectory of their life. This fear you carry is the signal that you stand on the threshold of something sacred. And even if doubt strikes you, remember that the soul recognizes what the eyes cannot yet see. The heart knows before the mind, and what your heart knows today, it will recognize tomorrow as the deepest truth. There is something unique about this union that is being prepared. It is not a simple encounter. It is not a coincidence. It is a perfect blending of two life stories, shaped separately, often through pain and learning, to create a harmony that only Allah could orchestrate. This person will bring with them not only love, but also wisdom, patience, and the light necessary to help you take steps of spiritual growth you never imagined possible. And as you feel this wave of fear and anticipation, understand that you are exactly where you need to be. Fear is a sign that change is approaching, that destiny is manifesting. Every breath, every silence, every moment of doubt prepares your heart to welcome this union, to recognize this home, and to feel divine guidance in the concrete realities of daily life. Visualize a garden. Not an ordinary garden, but a garden that seems to exist on the border between the visible and the invisible, where every blade of grass, every leaf, every breath of air is charged with a promise. You walk alone, but it is no ordinary solitude. It is this solitude that opens the heart, that makes the soul attentive, that makes each step a silent prayer. The leaves rustle gently under the caress of a light breeze. And you understand that this breath is not just the wind. It is the breath of destiny, the echo of divine guidance, whispering to your heart, "Go forward, fear nothing. Your path is already marked out." Every ray of sunlight that pierces between the branches is not simply light. It is a promise that what you have been seeking for years, what you have waited for in patience and prayer, is coming closer to you. You breathe deeply and smell the scent of the earth, fresh and pure, as if it itself were blessing your steps. Everything here seems to remind you that you are never alone, even when you think you are. Every detail of the garden is a sign, a reminder that He who knows every beat of your heart has been preparing this moment all along. You walk along a path you've never taken before. It's narrow, sometimes bordered by shadow, sometimes bathed in light, but it draws you without you understanding why. And the further you walk, the more you feel a transformation taking place within you. Your breathing becomes lighter, your heart more open. Each step you take resonates in your soul like a silent reminder that this journey is not only physical, but deeply spiritual. This path you are taking is a reflection of your inner journey. Every detour, every hesitation, every past struggle has led you here to this precise moment where everything begins to make sense. Then, suddenly, a soft light appears before you. It is not a blinding light, but a light that warms, soothes, and attracts. And with this light, a presence emerges. A soul appears, not as you had imagined in your dreams or prayers, but exactly as you needed it. You immediately sense that this is no ordinary encounter. Their qualities, their gestures, their gaze, their way of being in space all seem perfectly aligned with yours. Patience, kindness, sincere faith, an open heart. Everything resonates with the depths of your own spirit. Every detail is carefully orchestrated by the one who sees and knows what your human eyes cannot yet discern. And as you draw closer, you realize that it is not just this person who transforms this moment. It is you who, through your patience, your trials, and your silent prayers, have learned to recognize the purity of this encounter. It was you who allowed your heart to prepare for this light, this subtle guidance, which only reveals itself to those who have waited, suffered, reflected, and kept their faith intact. This union you glimpsed now becomes tangible, but it is not just an external event. It is a mirror for your soul. Every quality you observe in this person is an invitation for you to grow, to become more patient, more generous, more sincere, more aligned with where your spirit aspires to be. As you walk through this garden, you feel that the place itself speaks to you. Every tree, every flower, every breath of air seems to participate in this harmony. It is no longer simply a physical movement, nor a relocation within a space. It is an inner transformation. Your heart expands, your mind calms, your soul rises. The walls you had built around yourself, made of doubts and wounds, begin to fall. And as you step into the light, you understand that what you've experienced up to this point, all the difficulties, all the unmet expectations, was all preparation for this moment, to meet not only a partner, but an extension of your own spiritual journey. And in this silence, in this gentle light, in the sensation of walking alongside this soul who resonates with you, you understand that true change isn't just in the home, the house, or the city you're headed toward. True change is in your heart, in your soul, in the way you will begin to perceive every interaction, every breath, every moment of your daily life. You realize that the union and the move are symbols, vehicles, catalysts for spiritual growth you had never before considered. You may be wondering, sitting alone in the silence of your room, staring at an invisible point on the wall or in your mind. What if I'm wrong? What if this isn't the right choice? What if everything I believe to be guidance is actually an illusion of my imagination? These questions swirl through your mind like endless waves. Sometimes they overwhelm you to the point where you feel unable to breathe, unable to move forward. But let me ask you another, deeper question. How long has your heart been searching for guidance? How long have your silent prayers, your tears, your sleepless nights, your hopes and fears been waiting for clear direction, a sign you cannot ignore? What if today, that sign is already there, but in a subtle, almost invisible form, one that your rational mind still refuses to acknowledge? What if that encounter you've always imagined, that move you've been dreading, that inner transformation that still seems vague, were already underway, orchestrated by the one who sees beyond anything your human eyes can perceive? What if every shiva, every intuition, every tiny sensation in your heart were actually a silent message, a divine whisper, guiding you toward what is meant for you? But then, you might ask, why does everything seem so uncertain? Why does my mind still doubt? Because the human soul needs trials to prepare itself for blessing. Because fear, doubt, hesitation, all of these are necessary to awaken your heart, to sharpen your discernment, to help you recognize the truth when the moment arrives. Trials are not punishments. They are stepping stones. They are tests of faith, subtle tools the Creator uses to prepare your soul to receive what it could not accept without this preparation. And you, there in this inner silence, what is still holding you back? Is it the fear of the unknown, that visceral fear that paralyzes you and makes you want to control every detail of your future? Is it distrust of what you cannot see, what you cannot measure, what you have never experienced? Or is it simply that you have forgotten, if only for a moment, that the one who guides your heart always sees further than your eyes, always deeper than your mind can comprehend, and always with a wisdom you cannot yet imagine? Feel this moment. Feel the tension between fear and hope, between doubt and that intuition that has been within you for days, weeks, months. That intuition that you tried to ignore because it seemed too simple, too beautiful, too perfect to be true. But it is real. Because your soul recognizes it. Because it knows before you do what your mind still refuses to accept. Your heart knows what your mind doesn't want to hear, and this silent knowledge is a gift, a sign that you haven't waited in vain. So ask yourself again, what if I let go of my resistance? What if I let my heart guide my steps rather than my fears? What if I allowed myself to receive what has always been prepared for me without trying to control everything, without questioning every sign, every breath, every intuition? These questions aren't here to trouble you. They're here to awaken your awareness, to force you to recognize that everything you've been through, every failure, every detour, every lonely night, was no accident. It all led you here, exactly where you needed to be to meet your destiny. Your soul already knows the answer. Even if your mind hesitates, even if your doubts overwhelm you, even if you fear failure or making a mistake, that small voice within, that thrill, that intuition, that gentle but insistent sensation is divine guidance. It tells you, move forward. What you seek is not elsewhere. What you have waited for so long is already here, manifesting in a form you will recognize at the perfect moment. And so, ask yourself this last question for today. What would happen if you trusted, truly trusted? What if you left behind the fear of the unknown, the fear of control, the fear of past mistakes, and walked toward what is meant for you with faith, courage, and openness? What would happen if you listened to your heart rather than your mind and began to perceive the subtle signs that Allah has placed on your path all along? Because deep down, you already know. Your soul knows. And that silent knowing, that divine whisper, that inner certainty will never deceive you. It awaits you. That moment when you will understand that everything you have been through had a purpose, that every trial was a preparation, and that what comes next is beyond anything you could have imagined.
And even now, as you hesitate, you feel deep down that this is only the beginning. That what you discover next might just change the way you see your life, your destiny, your heart, and your faith itself. Now that you've heard these signs, images, and reflections, it's time to let your heart respond. Take a moment to meditate, listen to your intuition, and recognize the divine guidance that surrounds you. If this video touched your soul, please share it with someone who might need this message. And don't forget to subscribe to receive even more spiritual guidance and life-changing signs. Your next step may be closer than you think. Be ready to receive it.